Hi Mike, how can I enter Ogby?
I think if you've got good ideas, that's what we need. Good experience, good life experience, good stories to tell. Come and join my team.
Can I join your team if I know you?
If I know that you've got good ideas.
Barbecue guy, 1 dog and 3 cats dad. And
yeah, we're having a kid.
Dad.
3 weeks time. I'm gonna be a dad. It's gonna be awesome, I hope.
Working as a group creative director in Ogby, Shanghai, Mike's doing well in his 3rd year in China.
I left South Africa 9 years ago and I moved to Hong Kong originally, and I was in Hong Kong for 4 years, also with Ogilvy. Then I moved to Berlin for 2 years. So I've been in Shanghai for 3 years. I came back the year before COVID and I've spent the last 2 years in Shanghai.
Even though still struggles with Mandarin.
Can I introduce yourself in Chinese?
No.
But this doesn't stop Mike from exploring China and the culture.
How would you introduce Chinese culture?
I think everyone knows that there's like big cities, there's like amazing job opportunities, lots of people. Cities are clean, they're safe, food's great, the culture's good. But for me actually, I think the most interesting thing that people don't know about is all the nature. Like, I did a shoot a couple of years ago in Yunnan and it was just amazing. Snow Mountain and all those kind of places, just like the most beautiful places I've been. So that I think is a really interesting thing that people don't know. I think it's really interesting coming from Africa again, just to like make that comparison, because we're a young culture. I mean, there's history, but it's not like
This history.
yeah, exactly. So I think that's really interesting. Is this like rich, deep history?
Eating is one of Mike's favorites.
A meat dryer
Except
in the
hometown
back
food.
room. We dry out steaks, and that's called biltong. It's like the South African delicacy.
He also enjoys Chinese food.
I really like a lot of different Chinese food. I like different foods from different regions. I like the Shenzhenbao and the scallion noodles here in Shanghai. Then I really like Sichuan food as well, particularly like the vinegar potatoes. I find here in China people definitely appreciate family more than in the West.
Core family and extended.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, going home for Chinese New Year, meeting up for all the festivals. Because my family's not able to travel here and I'm not able to go back that often. But I think it changes the way you think. I think that's really special. So, tell me.
Mike becomes quite talkative when we are talking about Shanghai.
You know, Shanghai is China. I still think it's like a very global city. It's not saying like if you don't fit in with us, then you can't be part of Shanghai. You know, like you can walk down the road and get noodles in Shenzhenbao, even if my Chinese is really bad. Compared to maybe like if you look at like Tokyo, it's very much like this is the way that we do things, and anyone who comes in has to fit in with that. What I like about Shanghai is like Shanghai has its own vibe, but it's also more inclusive. Tolerant, yeah, and also inclusive.
So what is it like working in China? Especially as a foreigner.
Yeah, I think it's quite easy to work as a foreigner in China. I think as long as you're open-minded and respectful and realize that, you know, we're lucky to be working here, I think that's the key. China's really fast, and I love that because people are always trying new things. Nothing is impossible, but in some ways that also makes it really hard, particularly from a creative perspective. Sometimes it's really hard to make something that's like really creative or really perfect because everything is changing all the time. People sometimes fall down as going like, oh, I come from my country, so I'm right. I make cars in Germany, so I know the best. Or I make leather in Italy, or I make something in France, so I must tell you how to do it. I think that's wrong. It was a Christmas gift from my cats.
As a routine of my interview, I invited him to share his previewed stereotypes about China and how they had changed. But his answer is quite unexpected and dazzled me.
In South Africa, because you grow up with like, there's an Indian guy, there's a white guy, there's a black guy, there's a Muslim guy. It's kind of like, you don't feel like, oh, he's different. You know what I mean? Like all my friends at school were different cultures, different religions, different languages. We got like, South Africa has 12 national languages. So everyone speaks different languages, everyone's got different religions. It's a good country to grow up in for that perspective, because you learn to be really tolerant of other people and not to buy into those things. I'm always really careful to avoid that kind of thing. And I think if you just stay in like an English-speaking country, it's too easy to get kind of like trapped in your own ways and trapped in your own stereotypes and trapped in your own like thinking you're right all the time. I think living in different countries makes you realize that you're wrong a lot.
I'm surprised that the beautiful sceneries we've got in our country seem attractive to the foreign friends.
And I'm happy to hear that our traditional culture, not only just foods and festivals, but also in terms of values, attitudes and good qualities, are getting more widely accepted. Mike is not my direct team leader, but he's so enthusiastic and energetic in the office that it is really hard not to check this man out. Interviewing Mike has been interesting minutes. I really appreciate his attitudes and passions towards work and life. Is that because how far it comes from that he sounds as always unexpected? When this video release, he's probably a new dad. So, hope everything and the new role find him well.
What I like about advertising is it's okay not to know stuff. You know, every day we get up, we've got to make something new, which means no one knows everything. For me, the best part about life is meeting new people and working with interesting people and doing interesting things. Ogilvy's really good for that because we're the biggest, we're the best.
Okay, cool. Okay.
So my advice on anyone who wants to move to China would be that you should arrive skinny because you're going to eat a lot.